Right, so getting a mentor is actually one of the most important things, I think, in starting out in business. I've had a number of different mentors. Some I know personally, some I have never met, may meet one day, some of which I'll probably never meet in my life. But that's the whole thing with mentors. You don't actually have to know them personally. When you hear somebody say, go and get a mentor, it doesn't mean somebody that you can go to. It's not a business coach that you meet with once a month or once a week or however often you have that relationship, right? A mentor for me, look, my first mentor starting out in business is, funnily enough, somebody I used to work for. When I was back in Sydney, I worked for a gentleman by the name of Nick Gaddis, and he was absolutely amazing, and I learned so much working for him. And if you go back to my podcast on authenticity, I speak about working for Nick because I came from a place beforehand where I was basically one of the salespeople that were completely full of shit. And Nick, for want of a better term, knocked that out of me. And not only that, he taught me so much about business and gave me the trust and the respect to actually look at running his business for him, essentially, while he was off doing, growing another part to the business. I was running the domestic arm to the business while he was growing the global arm to the business. And having that trust and that faith, I've got so much respect and time for Nick, and forever will. I'm forever indebted to him for that. But it's and in many ways I've modeled a lot of things with my business off of what we did when I was working there, and that's been great. Obviously I made some changes to suit the way that I wanted to do things, but a lot of the teachings that I gained from working with Nick has followed on. And even from that, right, it's finding a mentor. My first, I guess, outside of Nick, who obviously I had that relationship with, my first real mentor outside of that would be Tony Robbins. Now, Tony has no clue that I exist. He probably never will. But the reason that he became such a mentor for me was because I came across his content on YouTube at one stage, and it was just the business mindset. Some of the topics that he was speaking about partly is within this this podcast series, but it was just it was so much about mindset, and there's such a difference, and you don't realize how much of a shift in mindset you need to go from being an employee for a company to actually owning a company. And then there's an amazing interview that he does with a gentleman by the name of Eben Pagan, where they speak about this in depth, and they actually go into, okay, this is the mindset shift that you need to make. But that was what I did. I just consumed content. Like, you can't consume everybody, right? But find one or two people that you genuinely resonate with. They can be in your industry. They can be, as I said, like Nick, who I've known for a number of years. He was incredible. Still is. Tony, who I'll never meet. Gary Vaynerchuk, who's one that I've been, particularly in the last 12 to 18 months, paying a lot of attention to. These sort of people that they resonate very massively with me. There's other people that I've consumed for a month who I've just not clicked with, and I'm sure they have their audience, but for me, I resonate more with Tony and Gary than some of these other people. And I'm not going to name other, it's not about that, but what it is find the people that actually resonate with you. The people that you listen to their content, you go, fuck yeah, that's awesome. That's, I need to incorporate that, or I need to look at doing this, or my mindset's not right in this area, or I need to fix that. And look, if you're after mindset stuff, and so much of business is about mindset, look, Tony Robbins for me, I can't speak of highly enough. He's incredible, and I think there's so much value in consuming at least some of Tony's content just to get your head around what the way he presents things and what his pillars are and all of that sort of thing. And then look, you can make your decision from there whether or not he's for you. Gary Vaynerchuk is the one that, as I say, I've been consuming a lot in the last 12 to 18 months. And look, a lot of it, this podcast series has come from consuming Gary, right? Gary's all about giving all of your content away for free, all of your best information away for free. Now, if you go to so many people that are out there that they'll give you the majority, or not even the majority, they'll give you a teaser of a little bit of information, and then you get to the end and they say, oh, for the real shit, you got to pay $9.99 now and you get into this. Like, fuck off. Give away all of your best information for free. And look, and I've been doing this, right? I've been doing this for the last year and a half. I've been giving away all of my best information for free: Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of it. All of the little tips and tricks and all of that sort of thing in my industry. And the idea is, look, I used to have this saying, and it's not mine. I can't remember where I picked it up from, so I'll take credit for it for the time being. But if you can't be sorry, I can't even remember my own fucking saying now. If you can't be replaced, you can't be promoted, right? So what that means is essentially, if you're in a job and there's so many people that they get into a job and they get so fearful about leaving or losing their job that they're so tight in there, they set systems around that they're the only ones that can do it. That means you can't be promoted. You're stuck in that spot forever. It's the same with running a business. If you can't be replaced, you're not going to grow. Now, my content, the content that I put out for free, which is all of it, I don't charge anybody anything for any of my content. The content I put out for my business is basically, if you follow my tips, if you follow my content, you will never have to use me. You will never have to use my service. Now, my company does amazing work and we're fucking brilliant at what we do, right? But if you follow my steps, you will never have to use my business. Because the way I looked at it, and again, part of, Gary's teachings was, if you give all of your best stuff for free, 97% of people aren't going to do a damn thing about it, right? They just won't. People are lazy. They won't do it. Of the 3% that do, half of them are going to fuck it up anyway and probably come to you to fix it, right? Of the other half that do, so you're basically looking at 1.5% of the people out there that actually do it and get it right. You take the chance that, okay, maybe they might, if somebody asks them, they might say, oh, look, I got this from Rob, or I got this from Tony or Gary or whoever, I love putting myself in with those guys. That sounded so good. But you know what I mean? Like, they will say, okay, well, this is where I got the information from, and you become an authority in that field. So, look, that's been my approach for this. It's been something that I feel has worked amazingly well, but it came from consuming content to begin with, right? It's, and if you're out on the tools all day, working your ass off, it's literally you get home at night, you spend an hour just laying in bed reading a book. Or if you're not somebody that likes to read, listen to a podcast or watch a YouTube video. Well, it's typically going to be one of those three, right? It's reading, videos, or audio, podcast, right? So most people are happy to do one of those things. So work out which one it is for you. Find somebody. As I say, it doesn't even have to be in your industry. Gary and Tony aren't in my industry, not even close. But the value that they bring from their industry and what they're doing, I've been able to translate that into mine. So, and look, outside of that, do I have people that I work with? I've got a business coach who is a mentor as well, and I work with him every month and have been doing that for about 18 months as well. Look, there's so many ways of finding a mentor, but just find somebody that works for you. Find somebody that you can resonate with, that you basically just click and go, okay, this guy makes sense, right? It might be me. You might listen to this podcast series and go, there is so much shit in this that I needed to know, and I need to, all of that. I don't necessarily put myself in that mentor category. I think I just did, but not intentionally, not at the level of Gary and Tony, right? But it doesn't matter who they are. There's other businesses, other business people that I see as mentors that have smaller businesses than what I do. But they've been in business for a long time and they know so much, but they've just decided that they want to cap their business at whatever level they've decided, right? So that's why their business has, is the size of it is in comparison, but there is still so much value that you can get from them. So you don't just have to look for people that have got massive businesses. My advice, ideally you want to find somebody that knows the path ahead. It's one of Tony's sayings that I've just stolen. Knows the path ahead, right? That could be in your industry. A lot of the times it is, right? So like I said, going back to Nick Gaddis, who's, I still to this day, I haven't spoken to him for probably 6 months, but I still consider him a mentor, and I know I could pick up the phone to him at any minute and call him and have a chat about, look, this is where I'm at in my business. What do you think about this, that, whatever, right? But find that person for yourself. And they're out there. There's so many people out there that they want to help. And this is the thing, people want to help. I'm doing this podcast series because I want to help. I'm nothing special, right? Other than the fact that I've included myself in a conversation with Tony and Gary in this podcast, but I'm nothing special. I'm a guy who's spent 20 years in the one industry, owned a business for 3 of those years, and has learned so much along the way. And especially in the last 3 years. So again, this is the whole reason I'm putting this series out, is to help you guys that are either very early in a business, haven't started a business yet, or maybe you may be even 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years into your business and you feel stuck and you're looking for, okay, how can I, what am I missing? What did I miss in that first period? Or what, so there's so much value. And to this day, I still get value from just speaking to other business owners. So find somebody that you can work with, can either consume the content like I do with Tony and Gary, or somebody that you know personally that you can actually have a meeting with once a month and sit down and just throw some ideas out and just say, look, this is where I'm at with my business. What are your thoughts? And just bounce some ideas around. That is so valuable, especially to new business owners. I cannot be more bullish on it. Find somebody that you can link in with like that, and you will see the results. Just make sure that the person that you link in with, that you connect with, that you follow their content, has actually built a business. I've got a feeling there'll be another podcast about that separately. Speak to somebody that's actually built a business. Find that person for you and run with it. So look, I hope you enjoyed that. If you do want to look at other content, other episodes, if you've not been following this sort of episode by episode in order, then look, my suggestion is to, from here, go back and have a look at episode, or listen to episode 11. It's all about short-term versus long-term mindset. It speaks to a lot of this sort of stuff as well, and you'll get a sense within that of when you're speaking to a mentor or trying to find your mentor, are you looking for somebody with the short-term mindset, or are you looking for somebody with a long-term mindset? So have a listen to that podcast as well, and I think you'll get plenty of value out of that too. Other than that, as always, if you do have any questions, comments, feedback, always happy to help, so feel free to leave those in the comments. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one. Cheers.